There we go. All these games, by the way, will be on ESPN+.
Hey!
Right then, bit of transfer talk. Hoopla, let's do it, shall we? Manchester United linked to a couple of defenders of late. Branthwaite and De Ligt. Of course, we spoke about it, was it last week?
Yeah.
About the possibility of Branthwaite making that move. Apparently, Manchester United went in with a very much a low ball offer. 70 million for him. De Ligt, meanwhile, of course, struggled to get into the Bayern Munich squad, starting 11 last season. Comes in at £42 million. Jules still with us. Jules, any of these moves or both moves likely? Where are we at?
I think one of the two for sure. They're negotiating quite well, I think, with Everton in what they want, the money they want. They know that Everton need to sell, that financially it's been quite difficult for them lately. And that at some point, like they did with Anthony Gordon, for example, or Richarlison, one of the... Well, it's really... He's their biggest prize, and the money that would come from one player sale would be this one, Branthwaite. So I think United doing that cleverly. For De Ligt, it's interesting. They were obviously quite interested in him before when he chose to go to Juventus and then to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich signed another defender in Ito from Stuttgart, so there's clearly too many for them. So De Ligt could be interesting. The only thing with De Ligt is already on a lot of money in terms of wages, and obviously when you move like that, you expect a pay rise. It's often the case. So I'm not sure if that moves a little bit the needle from a United point of view.
Who would you choose out of those two, Don?
Personally, I'd go Branthwaite. I like De Ligt. I think he's a footballing centre-back, and I think he's good. But I think longevity-wise, Branthwaite would be the one I'd move for. 35 million's a ridiculous offer. They're lowballing Everton massively. From Everton's point of view and a fan's point of view, they'd rather see probably Amadou Onana move on because they can find a replacement for him. They keep Pickford. They can keep Branthwaite. If they are going to sell Branthwaite, they were, I think, rumoured to be wanting about £80 million. Well, that would probably come down to about 60 or 70, but they want a lot of money for him. Choosing that, the two, I think the longevity's in Branthwaite.
Of De Ligt, Ali, of course, you've seen him, good and bad, at Bayern Munich. Where did he go wrong this season? And will a move help him?
Well, I think when they bring in Eric Dyer, Thomas Tuchel brings in Eric Dyer, and he was just supposed to be a squad player, a guy that would give you an option off the bench, strength in numbers. And all of a sudden, big games come around, and Eric Dyer is starting over Matthijs De Ligt. Maybe that's a reflection on Thomas Tuchel and his preference of Eric Dyer, but it doesn't reflect well on Matthijs De Ligt. Now that Tuchel is gone, perhaps the relationship with the club and the relationship with Vincent Kompany would be different, and maybe there is a new opportunity and a new start, fresh beginning for Matthijs De Ligt. And if that's the case, then if I were him, I would stay at Bayern Munich instead of going to Manchester United.
Branthwaite, big move, though, from Everton to Manchester United, Shaq.
It would be, but he has been that good. But saying that, and you know, Don talking about longevity, we're talking a 21 and 24-year-old here, so it's not, you know, as though we're talking somebody who's knocking on his 30s in De Ligt. And certainly during his Ajax days, at the very least, I know that was a long time ago, he showed leadership qualities that I think Manchester United are sorely lacking. And then to Ali's point, picking Dyer over De Ligt, it just makes no sense for anybody. I don't care how poor your form is. Do you then join a club that picks Evans over Varane? That doesn't add up much either, you know. So there's a lot of question marks for both club and player here. But personally, if I'm going for one and the immediate need that Manchester United needs, I'm leaning De Ligt, especially the prices that we just saw on the screen at what, 42 and 70 million.
Yeah, he did play, you know, in the Champions League semi-final, didn't he?
And also,
Jules?
boys, no, don't forget the relationship, obviously, between Ten Hag and De Ligt from the Ajax days, which I think would count a lot. You as a player to join again a manager that you had before and with whom you got on very well and who was very important in your career, that matters a lot. And for Ten Hag, you get a player that you know by heart, really, and with whom you know you can do a good job too.
Who's your man out then, Jules? Sorry, Dom. If one of those come in.
What do you mean?
Like, who's the centre-back pairing?
For United?
Yes.
Him and Lisandro Martinez.
Right.
I don't think I think they'll try and move Harry Maguire on big wages. That'll be difficult. They might even try and use him in the Branthwaite deal if they try to bring him in. But if you're talking about who's your standout pairing, that would be it, in my opinion.
One more player that's been linked to Manchester United of late, Joshua Zirkzee. Jules, what can you tell us about this?
Yeah, very interesting one, because if you watch Serie A and Bologna, especially Thiago Motta's Bologna, it was an absolute pleasure to see them play and to see Zirkzee in his very fluid structure, great football, great attacking flair from him. He's not your typical number 9 in terms of pure goal scorer, very clinical. He has never scored more than 15 goals a season, I think, in his career, because there's more to his game than just that. He's an all-rounder. He's so clever, so smart. The way he links up play, technically, right foot, left foot, all of that. Super intelligent player. So if that's what United want, and I guess they've got the striker with Højlund, they've got the finisher with Højlund. You get Zirkzee, different profile, that could work together. So I think it's quite a clever move. The release clause is 40 million euros, so it's not too much. Kia Jarrad is his agent, and there were rumours that he wanted quite a big commission when Milan wanted to buy Zirkzee. If I'm a United fan, or if I'm Ten Hag, I'm all for Zirkzee, because if you have that clinical striker next to him or with him or as another option, then go for Zirkzee. He's going to bring you so much more to that. It will be a delightful signing, I think, for United.
If only we had someone on the panel who watches every single Italian match that's ever been played in the history of the world. Joshua Zirkzee?
Great player.
You say that about everyone. Everyone who plays
my worry, on to Jules' point, there is Rasmus Højlund and himself. Two fantastic young players, but you throw them together and both of them are not prolific. They're young and they've got energy, and Zirkzee's the talent. He's skillful. As Jules said, he can play different positions. But if you're Man United, don't you want the experienced striker? Don't you want the 25 goals a season? Do you not want that man that's going to guarantee the goals? Where if you want to go young and make Man United a young team again, if that's Ten Hag's project, then fair. Go for young players, but they're not going to be, and it sounds a bit harsh, but they're not going to be reliable in terms of their numbers.
Jules, before we let you go, it seems to be a new game that we can play with you, given what happened last time you were on when we saw a stranger in your bed. Who's in your apartment today?
What? Same one?
I mean, so producer Freddie is with me in the room, and my nephew Alex is still here. He's leaving tomorrow. He's really sad to go back to England. But he had a lovely time in Berlin. He went to the France game yesterday as well, so he was super happy.
It's quite a depressing look in your room, though, Jules, today, I feel.
Why? I mean, no, it's just a bit dark. Producer Freddie did the setup and the curtains behind, but it's a lovely room. I promise you.
Yeah.
You know,
wow. Producer
I can
Freddie's
go to the rooftop pool if you want. We can go to the bar. There's a lot of things to do here, obviously.